Good morning. Today, for our catechesis before Mass during this Eucharistic Revival is on answering the question, is the Mass a sacrifice? Now, Catechism of the Catholic Church, it states that the sacrifice of Christ and the sacrifice of the Eucharist are one single sacrifice. The victim is one and the same now offers through the ministry of priest, who then offered himself on the cross. Only the manner of offering is different. In this divine sacrifice, which is celebrated in the Mass, the same Christ who offered himself once in a bloody manner on the altar of the cross is contained and is offered in an unbloody manner. So the Mass and Calvary are not two different sacrifices. We do not believe that Jesus dies in heaven over and over again every time Mass is celebrated. The one sacrifice of Christ on Calvary is made present in a different manner in the unbloody sacrifice of the Mass. So Calvary is a bloody sacrifice and the Mass being the unbloody sacrifice. But the sacrifice of the Eucharist and the sacrifice of the cross are one single sacrifice. Looking in Scripture, we read in Hebrews chapter 7 that Jesus has no need, as did the high priest, to offer sacrifice day after day, first for his own sins and then for those of the people. He did that once for all when he offered himself. We read this in context with what we hear later in Hebrews. Christ did not enter into a sanctuary made by hands, a copy of the true one, but heaven itself, that he might now appear before God on our behalf. Jesus goes to the heavenly sanctuary to offer himself in the temple not made with hands, once and for all time. With the mystery of the Ascension, Jesus takes the earthly sacrifice of Calvary into eternity. From heaven, he can then be made present on every altar throughout the world until the end of time. It's that heavenly, eternal self-offering that's going to be made present every time the Mass is offered, on every altar throughout the world until the end of ages. At the Last Supper, remember, Jesus said, "Do this in memory of me." So the Catechism adds, the Eucharist thus is a sacrifice because it represents, makes present, the sacrifice of the cross, because it is a memorial and because it applies its fruit.